Hello there. I'm still at Tom Wesley out in San Carlos de Bariloche, Rio Negro, Argentina. Today happens to be Wednesday, January the 17th, 2024. It's Howard Paul Shore, and I am with Tom Wesley's brother Robin.
Hello.
It's such a great
Hello.
pleasure to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you as well. My friend.
Absolutely, yeah. So tell me, how are you involved here?
Well, I was born here, so I'm very involved.
There you go. That's a good start.
That's a good start. In the first place, I was born here, so I have a lot to say. But I have nothing to do with the business, with the beer business, with the less with the horse business. I think it's the only time I rode. Is that the word?
Uh-huh.
I rode a horse.
Uh-huh.
Is it properly said?
Absolutely. Was when?
I must have been 17.
Oh, it was a while back.
That was a long time ago.
So you live on the property? Or
I live on the property. We all of us live in a way. We still do live in the property because the other two brothers, one lives in Uruguay and the other one in Australia.
Oh yes.
But he used to live here, and more so, he has some houses which he rents, which belong to him, which are on the property. So in a way, he lives here.
Great.
So we like a hippie bunch.
There you go.
Like gypsies more than hippies.
There you go.
We all keep together.
I like that. Yeah, like a clan.
It's a clan. Although we don't mix up with each other's affairs. So
A business, right?
Business. So, in fact, I consider myself the poor one of the family. As I told you just now, I'm a musician. I'm an oboist. I work
That's
in the
right.
Philharmonic. So, as you can imagine, well apart from all this vulgar, rusty word of horses and so on.
Honestly, I think horses are amazing. Honestly, I love them so much.
Yes, a lot of people. I like dogs.
Dogs are good too, and cats.
Also, I get on well with cats. I love animals on the whole. I don't really mind, but people who love horses are horse lovers, and they are. There's no way you can even discuss with the horse lovers. They just happen to be horse lovers or dog lovers, and it's something, That's a peacock.
I almost thought it was a cat. I go, well, that's a weird sound of a cat.
A lot of people think that. It's we have about 20 peacocks here. You haven't seen them?
Actually, I think I saw maybe one.
Yeah, it's full of them.
And I saw a feather too. One lost its feather.
Yeah, they lose their feathers once a year. So the place is carpeted with peacock feathers, which is quite exotic.
Right.
People love it.
So how do you feel about being Tom Wesley's brother?
No, I always correct people. When they always say, that is quite often, that comes up, oh, you must be Tom's brother, Tom Wesley brother.
Yes.
Even at a gas station, they see, oh, Wesley, they see my card. Tom Wesley. And so they say, are you Tom's brother? And I always correct them. I say, no, Tom's my brother.
That's so
It's mine,
funny.
I think, but I came first in the first place. And secondly, it gives me dignity. To be recognized not as Tom's brother, but Tom's my brother.
Right. But just the name Wesley. I mean, obviously everywhere you go, it's like, wow, they know you.
Yeah, we've been here for 70 years.
A long time.
Yeah, and they only have known us more because of this, because of the beer, because of the horses, because of the place and the restaurants and all that. I doubt whether it would have been such a well-known name had this not existed.
Mm-hmm.
But I often know, but occasionally I go to some boring office, tax office or whatever, present documents and so on, and somebody looks up at me and says, "Oh, Wesley, are you the oboist?" And that makes me feel very important.
Exactly, because they know what you do. They know what your background is.
So yes, but it's unusual. Concert goes.
Right. I have a question. Maybe you could tell me, how did this place get started in the beginning?
Because this happened to be, when we were small, this was a chicken farm.
Okay.
Many of the buildings you see around here were originally, they were chicken, where chickens were, eggs and so on. Tom has redone them and remodeled them over the years, and there's no resemblance to what it used to be, which I remember, but some of the buildings basically are the same. Most of them aren't. In fact, there are two buildings which are much the same in a way, which is the one we see in front of us.
Okay.
No, not that one. That one over there. That white thing.
Here.
That one.
Okay.
That's new. All this is new enterprises. And the building behind us.
Right. Okay.
Both of them, I remember when we had a chicken farm. My dad had a chicken farm. They were very primitive. They were very simple in those days. And they were full of chickens. And more so the what we call the pub, which is a small restaurant which is not far from here, used to be where we had pigs.
Oh.
And it hasn't changed all that much. Now we have different type of pigs who live there. Not very different, I think. They're much the same as the others.
I did see that you have sheep here, correct?
No, but they just for to make the place more interesting.
Okay.
Because you see, a lot of people, most or nearly all the people who come here are people who live in flats in Buenos Aires or elsewhere, and they've never seen a sheep in their life. They haven't seen a chicken in their life, and let alone a peacock. So
It's too bad.
or it's full of ducks and all sorts of geese. Well, it's part of rabbits. We have a lot of rabbits on the other side.
I didn't see any rabbits yet, but I'm sure I will.
There's some of them. Well, all that gives this place a charm which no other restaurant has in Bariloche.
True, very true.
And a lot of people, I think, this place gets often in the afternoon, especially in the summer holidays, it gets piled up with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think families bring their kids so they can run around, because I understand them. They live in flats. So they come here and they see chickens and they see hens and they see horses and they see sheep and they see peacocks. And it must be Disney World for them. So it's like a bloody school. It's full of kids, hundreds of kids. And they run around and sometimes they chase the animals, and so we have to go and sort of put a law and order again, my dear, and put things in their place. What else? Well, the chicken farm, we were young at that time. Well, things started changing in all aspects, and it was finally closed, and it kept closed for decades, or many, many years. And Tom started with something as simple as renting about 4 horses, 5 horses maybe, on a very basic schedule. I mean, it was very, very simple. And that became quite prosperous, and it started working quite well. And what did the big turnover was that he started what they call here, well, I don't know what if the equivalent exists in other parts of the world. The high school students, when they finish on the last year, they do travel. They travel to wherever, from Buenos Aires or from the rest of the country, even from Chile.
And they come here to Bariloche.
They come here to Bariloche. I mean, it's a very, it's a big business. And the students started coming here. And they were very simple. In those days, and we're talking about 30 years ago, I remember Tom and his wife used to they used to have tea here. And personally, they used to go and with cakes and with scones and that sort of thing. And that started growing and growing and growing. And from maybe 20 students, which would come in those days, right now it's something like 500 at least every day. And it's not that there are 500 students with nothing to do. It's a program. They come here and then they go out they do a horse excursion, and then they do games, very genius games which Tom invented, which are competitions between schools, which is very, very great fun. And then they have lunch, which which is a wonderful lunch they have here in the restaurant, which is out there, and if you and other programs. And if you think that there are 500 students, but not 500 students together, maybe you get 70 arriving, and when they have done their program, another 70 or 100 arrive, and it's a circle that keeps.
It's non-stop.
It's non-stop. It starts about at 10 in the morning and finishes at 6 in the afternoon, and it works. I mean, the kids have a wonderful time, and surprisingly enough, one would have thought that in that volume of people, students, young teenagers, and so underage, all of them, 16, 17. Well, most people at that age are sometimes a bit troublemakers, and there's never been a problem, never.
That's
or
great.
Very, very rarely. There's been no serious problem ever. That's because they're occupied, and because they're happy and having a good time.
Absolutely.
And if people are occupied and happy and having a good time, it's unlikely you'll have any problem. The problems come when they get bored. Like us, adults, we troublemakers when we get bored.
Yeah.
So that's, it's hard to imagine this place now so quiet and so nice and so.
It's a very peaceful place, and it's a very nice
it's
place.
not so peaceful when the students are here.
Right now it's quiet.
But it's, I imagine it's a prosperous business and it works well. And then the beer started.
Oh, yes.
And the beer is the newest of the businesses here. That started, in fact, my dad used to make beer way in 1960. And then, Tom's kids mainly took an interest without knowing anything about it, and they did courses all over the place, and they started what now is probably the biggest, not the biggest, but amongst the most important beer breweries here. And beer drinkers say it's absolutely the best beer. I can't give an opinion on that because I'm not even very keen on beers. I could drink a whole gallon of it if I wanted to, but I like gin.
I had a sample today of the beer. It was not bad, but I don't drink much beer, but hey, it was good.
It also depends because there's so many of them.
It's many, yeah.
So you may have chosen one which wasn't the ones that you would have preferred because there are, 20 types of beer. I'm not very sure if it's 20, but maybe 15.
That they make here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just try whatever sample that Santiago gave me.
Yeah. Well, I've tasted some of them which I didn't like at all, but there is one or two which I like. But what I do like is the gin. That's new. Well, new, not that new, but it's sort of a different development. And slowly that started as a smallish thing, and now you saw the factory.
Yes, I did.
They send beer all over the country, and again, I'm out of the show. I only give concerts, and none of them go to my concerts. I don't think they've ever been to one of
Seriously?
my concerts. Seriously.
Well, do you ever do any concerts or shows here, or?
Oh yeah, we travel around a lot. But yes. Now we're on holiday. Yes, we do. We quite often.
Well, if you're performing somewhere and
No, there's nothing now till March.
March, okay.
Yeah.
But if I'm in Rio Negro or somewhere you are, I'll come to see you. Okay.
Rio
visit.
Negro, we travel quite often because the orchestra depends from state.
Okay.
It depends on the state, so we're obliged to often tour around the province, which is enormous. I mean, this province starts from the Andes all the way to the sea. You can travel 8 hours, 9 hours in the same state from one side to the other, which shows you the size of the state. We call it province here, but it's really, you'd call it a state. So we're obliged to give many concerts in the state because the tax I mean, the funds come from the people who pay taxes for us. So it's all, we are obliged to give concerts in the state, in important towns and often in less important cities.
Of course.
Because even the people who live in a smaller town, they pay taxes as well, and through their taxes we live. So we are obliged to, often give concerts even in tiny little towns and sometimes in big important cities. Often, or mainly, I'd say. Anyway, that's just my part.
No problem. Can you also introduce me to some of these dogs? I see, I'm surrounded by 3 or 4 dogs at least.
No, there are not very many of them right now.
Or maybe 5 dogs actually.
Yeah, they belong to Tom. This little cat here.
Okay, hold on. Let me...
Fatty.
Fatty?
Fatty.
Fatty. Hi,
This
Fatty.
little Fatty.
Hi, Fatty. How are you?
She's called Senisa.
Come here.
Senisa.
Oh, nice. Okay.
She's about 11 or 12.
Okay, and then there's a dog over there.
And then there's a black one there which belongs to Tom. Kali.
Kali?
Lila.
Sorry?
Lila.
Lila.
Lila. She's good. No, they tame.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Who else can you see?
There's one over there.
This little chap is called Harry.
Hi, Harry. Come here. Come here.
Oh, he's far too old.
Come here. No?
It's a tranquil dog.
Ah, he's a sweet dog. Okay. Good.
And but we dog lovers, so we have dogs are very important for us, and we take good care that they are happy and
Absolutely.
well kept, and aren't we? You happy? You happy, little fatty? Wag the colita.
Ah, look at the dog.
Look at the fatty.
Well, anyway, I want to thank you so much for this in-depth interview and tell me so much about this wonderful place and your life. And you've been great, Robin.
Well, pleased to meet you.
Thank
nice
you.
that you're here.
Thank you. And if anyone wants
You
to
come
come,
from Canada. Where was
I'm from Toronto. Yes, originally.
Toronto? That's
It's about 10 hours outside of New York City. It's about an hour and a half away from Buffalo, New York.
So yeah, I mean I know that the name and the city and so on, but I couldn't place a place. I couldn't place a place.
No problem.
It's a very important city. It's a very important city of Canada.
Not bad. So anyway, if anyone's looking for a great place to visit, definitely come to Tom Wesley. They've got wonderful excursions here. They have a restaurant. They got a brewery. You'll have a lot of fun here. And have a great day. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.